You're asking something difficult of me because it's hard for me to show that the words that I read are really as they are if what you see while I read them is my face. From yesterday, the last straw, then you answered no, you pulled that one. Then is it or isn't it saying you're very thorough concerning all of the of your accusation that you throw at his characteristic and physical appearance. Jonathan is a demon because he has pointy ears. He's a fornicator because of his haircut. Okay, I've seen both you and Samuel sporting some of the most butch-looking hairdos known to mankind. So does that mean that you two are fornicators as well? He licked his lips, he's a serpent. Listen to the beginning of some of your most recent videos. You can't see it because your camera is not pointed at you, but we can all hear lip smack after lip smack coming from your speech. Exactly what were all of those weird lip smacking sounds, Jonathan? Here's another for you. Were you trying to wet your lips? All kind of sounds from the body, and it's not always what you think it is. You can't see if it because your camera is not pointed at you, but we can all hear lip smack after lip smack coming from your speech. Exactly what we're all of those weird lip smacking sounds, Jonathan. Where you trying to wet your lips? Were you trying to wet your lips? It's not me who's supposed to get wet. Or are you a serpent too? And don't forget, is evil nasally sound either. That's a sure giveaway that is satanic. Like the saying must go if it doesn't come with the authentic deep backwoods Quebec French accent. It's not me who's hiding in the wood in the middle of nowhere. If it's not the true message, it's too bad that he didn't show what type of microphone that he uses either. There goes the attempt of making more schism. Don't you remember showing us how demons seems to mostly use this particular type of microphone to spread their message? Was that even true, Jonathan? But then I think you changed your mind on that accusation because you found out that Kelly Barr had just received the same style of microphone as a gift, didn't you? I didn't change my mind. I didn't change my mind. I understood even that it was part of an attack because it would be hard for her to refuse the gift from her husband. But her husband, when he did innocently, but because of the spirit, then there was the demons trying to use him as a host to put us in a situation where there could be this argument. I didn't change my mind at all. I know how it works, okay, perfectly. You know, they use hosts. They make them believe it's out of good intention, and after that, it's really out of the demons' planning to put us one against the other. It's too bad that he didn't show what type of microphone. I understand what you're doing. It's not going to work because Kelly Barr also understands how it works with this type of subtle attack. It's too bad that he didn't show what type of microphone that he uses either. Don't you remember showing us how demons seem to mostly use this particular type of microphone to spread their message? Was that even true, Jonathan? But then I think you changed your mind. I didn't change my mind on that accusation because you found out that Kelly had just received the same style of microphone as a gift, didn't you? Are you as sure about this guy's pointy ear being linked to Satan as you were in telling everybody about the evil people that use certain microphones? I noticed you never really try to tell everybody why that what he's saying is wrong. I think I did. Only that is wrong. No, that's false. Okay, you are removing that there was even an argumentation concerning what he's presenting. And I said what? I said that the way that he's showing his argument would be the same way as the Muslim infiltrating the Church of God would do. And I did show with scriptures where it was coming from. And that he has pointy ears and the haircut of a fornicator. So I posted who replied, because it's not even sure really who's replying. Is it the voice of Jane? Is it Jane? Is it this guy that replied? Who exactly replied? Who replied? Was it voice of Jane, or was it the guy with nasally sound in the voice? Some gifts are harder to refuse than others. Okay. You see, no tongue? It's just that you can do a lot of sound with your body, and it's not always what you think. So, what's going on here? Some gifts are harder to refuse than others. I said to Samuel a couple times already, I said to Samuel, there are temptations that are meant that you will fall into, and very, very difficult to not fall into those traps. Okay, there are temptations that you just fall in them, and there's hardly any way out but to fall in them. There is this scriptures about Elijah subject to passion as all of us, but Elijah, not trying to excuse myself there, but Elijah subject to passion. If you look at it as an overturn, then it's not in vain. If you look at it as an excuse, then it is in vain. Elias was a man subject to like passion as we are. And he prayed earnestly that it might not rain, and it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. I believe that there's an interpretation to be made out of this, that it would mean the temptation would be far from his sight, so then he would not fall in it. Praying to not have the temptation over his sight, that he would not fall in it. Do you understand how it can work? I said that I was able to do the work for the Father and not just for my wife, because we were afar. And so when I was doing not having the distraction of sight, but I was really doing, knowing that I don't have, so I cannot lose, and so I'm better doing what I believe Jesus with the Father asked me to do. Don't you see it manifested now? If you did not know what it was about here, prayed earnestly that it might not rain. Do you think that Elias wanted everybody to die because there would no be water to drink? It was about out of sight, not the temptation, the focus more on the message. And she brought me back also to the place where I should be, because when I was starting to post music video, what she did say to me, well, maybe you should focus back on me. for the message. So, okay, so now you've got the Zenith thing going on also. Where she's coming with this, okay? Because I'm always able to find something out of it. Everything that she's doing, and I'm sure that she finds it fascinating how I'm far-fetching to impress her. So what I'm saying here with all my great honesty, a gift received, okay, so some gifts are harder to refuse than others, and exactly a gift received from someone else with a different background, mindset, and possibly spirit. 2 be in the house and 3 are against 1. Samuel is a fornicator. I keep to imagination. If Marianne throw back the ball at me, is because she is looking for a partner. Now, I did not know how much it would get deep, and sometimes I'm reading back my words and I'm finding new things out of them. I talked to you about the story with your mother, with going to Chateau Frontenac at the ball with dukes and duchess, but there's also the ball that I was throwing at your son Thomas and he didn't catch it, and there was a nosebleed even though I threw at him gently. What you say to me that you do gently guiding me, well, it's kind of rough too. But I'm telling you, I've been really, really responsible with your son, Thomas, and the nosebleed. It's because you were not in the same room, because if you would have seen with your eyes the whole scenery, you would not have any thoughts of kicking me out. But it's easier for those that will not play with your children because they don't want to do any sacrifice. And if I played with children that are not my own children, then what if I would have children myself? Jesus said to Peter, I entrust you, take care of the sheep. If you love me, this is going to prove your love to me. So who replied? Was it voice of Jane or was it the guy with nasally sound in the voice? Some gifts are harder to refuse than others, and exactly a gift received from someone else with a different background, mindset, and possibly spirit. 2 be in the house and 3 are against 1. Samuel is a fornicator. I keep to imagination. If Marianne throw back the ball at me, like a dance, it's because she's looking for a partner. To play still, I deliver a nosebleed. You know when somebody, a man, would look at a beautiful woman exceedingly, then there can be nosebleed. You see that a lot in anime. You know there is those anime nosebleed when seeing a beautiful woman. Nosebleed in anime. Excitement, like other emotion, are things we experience in our hearts, the blood from the heart. In order to express a character's inner feelings, anime must use physical symbols. So nosebleeds are an exaggeration of that excitement. It's also comical and easier for children to understand, Sugata said. And you can have all kind of different example of nosebleed out of love. And then that's the poesy in it. Because it's not me who's doing this, even though I'm typing over the keyboard. It's Jesus, because he's the Lord of hosts. All glory to him. Especially for the good. If Marianne threw back the ball at me, this exchange, is because she's looking for a partner. To play still, I deliver a nosebleed. XD, excitement. Don't you get confounded by sounds in the background. There's no tongue flicking, licking lips on my side of the screen. Maybe some coughing or sword fighting, but none of what you might imagine yourself. And then I'm providing Luke 12:52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. Shaking my hands. Then you throw back the ball. Then you should have no problem. Okay, who's doing this? Okay, Marianne. It just sounds so weird for me to say Mary Ann. How does Simon Larouche even call you? I don't think that Simon Larouche is looking at you and saying Mary Ann. I think he's saying Marianne. But who knows? I didn't hear from him since the time that he called here to talk to my mommy, and the last time before when I showed myself at his restaurant to solve things as men do, face to face. Then you should have no problem flipping the camera to show your face recording your next video for the benefit of the audience. So I'm missing those videos of yours that I saw your face, even though not fully. Maybe the next time you could make an effort and show fully your face for the benefit of the audience, so we can better understand your intent through your facial expression and non-verbal cues, and discern your true intention. Did you not make an expression when you were mentioning that I took off a day for 1 day? I did not harass you. What is the expression that you showed? You were getting used to it. Become even dependent of it. Maybe like affectionately dependent of it. Why didn't you find a way that I could communicate with you without filling your phone, so you would not call the cops to allow space that you could use the phone for your work, but you would find another way for me to keep going? Now, there was something about Zenith. Oh, another one. You said you risked 20 years for criminal harassment. Liar. Maximum sentence is 10. Yes, but the part that you don't get from it is that with Kimberly Merin, then there was another sentence possible. And Kimberly Merin was there because of what? Because she intended to bring to me your conversation with her. She had agreed to it. And at the last second, she made a 180 degrees and she said instead that she would go and put another lawsuit on me. So it was always resulting of this story between us. She was collateral damage, but also participant in the lawsuit, and then there was other sentence possible from her. And it was only because of you. Because when she had agreed to give us the conversation you had with her, you, Marianne, with Kimberly Merin. Kimberly Merin had agreed to show us the conversation, but she wanted us to sign contract paper on a napkin with her that after she would give us the conversation, we could not put a lawsuit on her. So she thought something was worthy of guilt. And then at the last second, as she was on the way to give us the conversation, she changed her mind. She had another second, she also had second thought, and she decided instead to try her luck with the law of man. Again. And then it resulted that making everybody lose their time. And if she would have won, then it would not have been without consequences. But when we won, it seems that there was no consequences to her. Neither to you, which I think is very much unjust, but that's the law of man. So the law of man is really working for you, even though you said that the law failed you. What were the consequences from the law of man when all of this seems to be like foundation over not saying all the truth when reporting to investigator? Sounds about right. A lesson on Canadian law and the nuance between NCR and verdict of guilt or innocence. You said you risked 20 years. Okay. You checked it was maximum sentence 10 years. So you're starting to regret a little bit. You understand that there was real risk that I would end up in prison if Jesus would not be with me. Because they really tried to shut me up. And when Samuel told me, well, throw everything you got at her, the first time, I said, I'm giving her space if she will repent. But then after that, the more I waited, the more longer I waited, the laws are made that if you wait too long, then there's nothing of value anymore. Neither over the defense, neither over the offense. So I will agree with you that doing like this is better because at least we are at liberty, full liberty of speech, almost full liberty of speech, because there's still the YouTube that has their own law. Another avatar. Don't take yourself so seriously. You're just a monkey with a plan. This is unbelievable. Okay, you put the video here, which is about what? The consequences. It was maximum 10 years. Well, only 10 years of prison. It's not 20. It's just 10 years. You didn't count about Kimberly Mayer. And then you say, what? Don't take yourself so seriously. Well, I still could have spent those 10 years. It was real. I mean, if Jesus would not have defended me, I would have gone through those 10 years. But Jesus declared me not guilty. So it's not because I was guilty and then Jesus saved me because I was guilty. He saved me because I was not guilty. But even though not guilty, if he would not have defended me, then they would have said what? That I'm guilty, and they would have put the punishment accordingly. Don't ever think anymore that I'm stupid. But it's true that the things of the world I do not understand. But since you seem to understand a lot, why did you not help me? Because you were too lazy. You wanted a man that didn't need you at all. But then you're not fulfilled. You will not feel fulfilled if you are with a man that does not need you. You will feel empowered and fulfilled when you understand that you can help. Because in the Bible, the woman is made for an help to the man. If you are seeking a man that does not need you, then what is your purpose? So he made me full of weaknesses, so I would need help. So he sent another help. And now you're trying to catch up to it. To catch up.
What happened? Was it a blonde woman tending the gate that day? That wasn't Land. Accountable for your own choices. All right, her name ain't Darling. I like to be called Raven, like the bird. And my pronouns is she, her, or it. And I'm willing to overlook disrespect in exchange for that muscle bracelet you've been sporting. Don't make me come get it. All right, then. You obviously don't recognize a woman in a corner.
So the woman in the corner. This is you talking back to you in the mirror. Different aspect of the same person, but full of contradiction. This is what it represents. It's you with all your contradiction. She's talking about don't underestimate the woman in the corner. You put a video pointing at the plant in the corner, saying you must be wondering what's happening over here since I'm put in the corner. I get that. Then she's also talking about you need to take responsibility for your action. Speaking to you. You speaking to you.
How dangerous that can be. And you probably don't know your own limitations. Probably brought on by that inferiority complex. But at some point you have to be held accountable for your own choices in life. You sound a lot like some fancy-wancy preacher. And besides, I don't need saving.
I don't need saving? I didn't say that I don't need saving. I showed you the verse. He saved others, himself he cannot save.
I've seen the promised land. I even made it to the pearly gates. Got inside, too. There I was, sitting beside a nurse and a nun. I decided it wasn't for me.
I heard that from you. You said you don't reject all the Bible, but it's not for you. So it's really you speaking back to you. And there was something about the zenith. Please don't turn on me when my next upload becomes public. Once the sun reaches its zenith. I search for it. And do you know what it is? Of course you know what it is. Knowledge. But do you know why it is? The zenith of the sun is when the sun is the highest in the sky. When is it that the sun is the highest in the sky? It's at noon time. So I search in the Bible where it's really coming from and why is it. So that's why I sent to you Psalm 55. It's talking here about destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, like a serpent tongue. Zenith and sunset or sunrise are opposite. You do realize? So as I'm recording, you say this. Zenith and sunset or sunrise are opposite. You do realize? Okay, from something I said in the video, found the zenith sun crack in your latest video. Okay, because you might think, I'm not sure, I don't want to be too sure with you. You said to me that you don't like me when I'm too sure. So let me just say a wild guess that you think that I'm just not understanding what zenith is because I said found the zenith sun crack in your latest video. I'm showing here that I'm looking what is the zenith. The zenith is indeed when the sun is at the highest, and it's at noontime. So I search in the Bible. What's about noontime? It brought me to Psalm 55. In Psalm 55, it's saying, talking about, and I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then would I fly away and be at rest. The peace and the glad tidings, to avoid strife and to be at rest. But I'm doing this non-stop because I'm looking for true peace, and I know that if I would not have put all the foundation before we meet, then it wouldn't go well. It didn't go well the first time. But now you know better. Lo then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness, Shelah. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues. Direct reference to the serpent. Divide their tongues, the sons of the serpent, lineage of Cain. For I have seen violence and strife in the city. Strife, contrary to the thing about peace, to have rest. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. You are the tower. They go around the wall. A tower is, it's difficult to reach the top of it. So Magdalene, a high tower. They go about the wall. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets. From her streets. Now it apparently refers to prostitution in the street. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him. But it was due a man mine equal, my guide. Thank you for the guidance. And mine acquaintance, not John Quinton, but mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked unto the house of God in company. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me, evening and morning and at noon. So that's where I found, okay? Sorry, something huge, because I was looking for noon, because zenith of the sun is noon time. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Shelah, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, he hath broken his covenant. You know the thing about contract on a napkin? When you did say, okay, contract on a napkin, did you add any thoughts about the fact that Jesus, when he was in the tomb, there was a napkin on him? When he was in the tomb, there was a napkin. Now you talked about I'm making all those contracts on a napkin, like I'm breaking my own rules, and it says here he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him, he had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast the burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But thou, O God, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out of their days, but I will trust in thee. In all of this, repetitively you have seen how I relied on my God. And repetitively you attempted to hold to anybody but God. So, what's going on? if I'm overturning everything you're doing, like this, for example, you looked into it, it's 10 years, but you're forgetting that Kimberly Meran would not even be part of the story if it would not be because you two agreed together. So you agreed with Danny to get my money. And then you agreed with Kimberly Meran to put me in prison because I was asking about what's going on with the secret that Jesus knew that you would not tell me about. Now, it's too late, I did show it already, but you turning the page for like 3 seconds over the agenda 2016, you did say there was a lot in it. So are you going to let me know what's in it? Or you just wanted to say, yes, Jonathan, you were right, there's a lot going on in 2016? Or is it just because I'm running too fast and I'm not patient enough for you to make preparation to make another video? I cannot ask you to read your agenda in front of other people, but you did read some of it from the other years in front of the people. Why not also 2016? And if not, then why don't you send it over so I would look into it and we'll find what you seem to not see from it. Well, you're going to do what you want in the end. And I do have my hope very high that what you will want to do is to obey your own conscience. And when you put out there, may the last 6 months of 2024 be the plot twist you were wishing for.
It is a common portrayal in popular media to see the crafty and clever villain finally get caught. But it turns out he has one more trick up his sleeve. The insanity defense. Insanity.
Are you going to put that on me again? I was found guilty, but I plead insanity, so I was found guilty. It's just that it was a twist of the law. Who did twist the law? By preventing all the facts when you went to see the investigator and you didn't think that it was relevant to tell about the paycheck? There is a presumption of sanity, therefore it is the defense that must prove the defendant's insanity. In the end, what saved me was when I was at the psychiatric, 3 judges, and alone with Jesus, because you know they were asking me, point your finger, where is Jesus? So I said all my defense from my own voice, without any other advocate, that had put me in the situation worse than if I would have to defend myself alone with Jesus, which I proven to be able to do from the 3rd time. Look how it happened. There was the first time lawsuit. There was this advocate that said we're going to plead insanity. Then the 2nd time, I defended myself over the 3 judges psychiatric. There was no advocate there, and they let me go. And I was not pleading insanity. But they all understood that you played me already then. And then after that, they brought me back again because Kimberly had a 2nd thought, and at the last minute, she'd made a U-turn. And then she decided to go with the Loftman instead of showing the conversation she had with you, because she was afraid that we would put a lawsuit on her afterwards. So it was kind of showing guilt. And then I went with Samuel, and Samuel was witnessing how, for the 3rd time, I could get out of it. Why don't you give a little bit of benefit of the doubt instead of saying that they went easy on me and it was easy? Because if you would have went all throughout this process, could you get out of it? You don't seem to be able to get out even of my maze from afar. You said you risked 20 years. For criminal... No, not for criminal harassment. For the whole of the accusation. There was your accusation, there was Kimberly's accusation, there was the first time, second time, third time in front of judges, and you say liar. That's why we need to continue the conversation to hear the whole matter. There's always something you're not going to think about. Liar. Maximum sentence is 10. I just checked. Now, I wish I could just comment right away, but you blocked me, so I can't. Then after that, you suggested me to not put in public, but that I would communicate with you over the Facebook. Well, you blocked me there too. And then after that on the Gmail, and when I did, then you bring on the YouTube that I contact you with the Gmail, and you're not better than me. So here, or was it 10 for me and 10 for her? Yes, you do understand. You knew what I was going to say next. Is that how you do math? Is it also how you count your money? 10,000 to Miller, grossly 4,000 for Mary, on 2 cars in the junkyard. Do you see how far now you are ready to admit to more than what you were able to admit with the Pepsi can spare change? You end up having no choice, but your conscience is telling you that there were those thousands of dollars. You said to me you would want to give me all back, and you wanted to do this not because you wanted to make a fair exchange, but because you wanted to clean your conscience so you would not feel guilty. I know, because you told me that there was a part of the money that you gave to the people in the street so you would feel less guilty of spending it all yourself. But as you said, it was never about the money. But it was to snare you. And Jesus did it. And we were both deceived by Jesus, which was essential to bring us together in peace. $10,000 to Miller, Matthew Miller, grossly 4,000 to Mary, and 2 cars in the junkyard, 500 under a bush, the sterilet, even the drug. I mean, you're forgetting a thing or two. Not to minimize small change as it weighs on the balance, but you don't want to even mention at all the sterilet because you must be so much ashamed. The truth is that when I did say to you, here's $500 for a sterilet, you said you were glad about it, but you're smart. Did you think that I wanted you to have a sterilet for another? It seems that you were thinking so because you were stupid enough. Are you stupid? You were stupid enough to send me a texto around the lines of Danny Lavoie would have called you himself, Jonathan, for your paycheck if you would have accepted to give to him. So if you were stupid enough to think that I would have given my money to Danny Lavoie, with whom I was in competition, then you might be thinking that the sterilet was also for him when I offered you to get the $500 for sterilet. And maybe that's why your father and your dad is not taking position in it, because he knows his daughters, how they are, and how they put themselves in the trouble all the time. And now we're at the point where my own dad's saying that, well, I think it's about time you should meet with her. The whole paycheck over expensive dates and treasures scattered along the hunt should have gotten your money's worth in cake. But a little far-fetched if you consider you weren't working at first. Employers typically hold a week or two back on pay. What are you trying to tell me here? Should have gotten your money worth in a cake? $10,000 to Miller Grocery, $4,000 for Mary on 2 cars in the junkyard, $500 under a bush, not to minimize small change as it waits on the balance. The whole paycheck over expensive dates and treasures scattered along the should have gotten your money worth in cake. There is something that you realize from all of this. There is one thing that you do realize. The money that I invested with you would have been more than enough to get myself laid with a woman willing to accept money in exchange for service. This, at least, you do acknowledge that I did put a lot investment. I had something, but not that much, because you know what I had. I had the site. But during the daytime and in the evening, but at night, there was no site. You understand that you gave a lot to others, and they did give what, I mean, Simon Larouche never changed his way of life for you, I don't think. And Danny Lavoie, after giving to you, he wanted to get back from you, you told me, and he received from me, from you. So, you say, should have gotten you money worth in cake. So yes, you understand that with that amount, I could have get myself with a woman, but I put all of it on you. You should be flattered. But a little far-fetched if you consider you weren't working at first. But I had already money accumulated. Jesus knew already where it would go, and before we met, he had prepared that I would have some money accumulated. Now I was not so faithful to keep money for my 10 years waiting for you. But back then, even when I did not do it for you, he had me keeping some money that I had just didn't use. When you did not understand how all my money were coming from, it was because I did not spend it. But when I visited you, I just put it all in your house, old. But a little, you wanted to know what's the real story? I'm telling you what's the real story. Of course, if you keep your mind thinking I'm lying, you're not going to get it. And it's just going to turn around indefinitely. But I spoke so much that you could not hear it. Now it's just a matter about convincing you that's really the case. But a little far-fetched if you consider you weren't working at first. Employers typically hold a week or two back on pay over a 2-month period. Alright, so I've been working many different work, and I said that I was going at work at some place and I was receiving a real paycheck, but also I was losing the job, or I was going away from it because I was talking about Jesus to the people where Jesus had sent me. Now you're trying to do the calculation and are trying to estimate the actual work and the actual pay that I justify myself to have given you. Because I've been saying that it's more than just a paycheck. And it is. It is much more than just a paycheck. Work continued afterward. But it's true that it was not brought all over your door afterward. But Jesus counted every of my efforts toward the goal. Because I never stopped believing that you would open the door back. This today is a proof that I never stopped believing it because I'm still at it. I was still at it when I did not even believe my ears. When Kelly Barr was starting to tell me that she believed that you were looking at my stuff on the YouTube before you did show yourself. Kelly already was telling me, are you sure she's not watching what you're doing? And I was saying to Kelly Barr, I was saying to her, well, why would I believe that? It's been years that I have not a sign of life from her. Why would she look at what I'm doing now? The Holy Spirit communicating with Kelly Barr, and she also is an host, and she can give me messages from God. That God knows that I wouldn't believe it if He would give to me directly out of thin air. There's the voice that we hear. There's the voice that are against. There's the voice that are for but lying. That's why I did test the Spirit with my dad. If it's not a full display of faith, or maybe you think it's just an excuse because I don't really want to see you. Why I'm doing this, you think? Why do you think I'm doing this? There are days that I'm really wondering what I want, but there's the part hurt that makes me not want it. And there's the part memory from the time when I had this joy that I could not explain why I had the joy, but it's the time when I was with you, even before I was with you, because you were with another. And I'm trying to balance the hurt and the joy. And so are you. The difference is that I'm telling all my heart, and you just going around the bush. But a little far-fetched if you consider you weren't working at first. Employers typically hold a week or two back and pay over a 2 months period. How does that add up? Don't tell me you had saving. Yes, I did. I did. Because that is simply not allowed. Okay, so now you're going to say that the law was telling me that I should not have savings, while my savings end up all to be given in charity for you, because I did not get anything from you. Don't tell me you had savings, because that is simply not allowed when you benefit from Social Security. But were you not glad that I took that money and I infringed the law for the time that I was spending with you? This is wrong. This is wrong. You want to say that the law was... You say that I broke the law by keeping savings, that the money that I kept savings, I gave to you, and you say I broke the law. Starting to sound like when they accused Jesus of saving a soul on the Sabbath day, while they themselves were getting their animals out of the ditch on the Sabbath day. You're going too far. You're going too far with this. Don't tell me you had savings because that is simply not allowed when you benefit from Social Security. Well, do you want to hear something else that was infringing the law? I told already the story when there was monitoring if I would still be allowed to benefit of Social Security, and the person with whom I was speaking to that was verifying if I would still be allowed to receive, you know, from the place that I had to go to monitor if I would still be allowed to receive the benefit from Social Security. And when I told the person there that I was having a part-time job with my friend Samuel at the cleaning work, then she said to me that I was not allowed to do that. And before leaving, not only she let me keep the benefit from Social Security, but she said to me that I was an angel. I didn't lie. I just kept to sincerity. And I might have said something in the conversation that had to do with her own life. And she might have, you know, whatever I said, if there is something that I said that God, the Holy Spirit, knew about that person, and the person heard me talk about something, getting convicted, let me go. It was not the first time. Besides, you had because in different situation, different time, this happened again and again and again. Besides, you had recently bailed out your older brother from his drug debts, gotten thousands of dollars worth of video games for your preferred brother, not forgetting about the receipt for all the money you had wired to the state before that. So what you are saying is that money from the work that I actually did work, money from benefit of Social Security that I received and kept saving, a lot of it went to charity. Are you trying to condemn me over charity here? Did you think before putting this out there? Or maybe it's a type of confession? What's going on here? Who's forcing you to do this? For all the money you had wired to the States before that, where did all your money come from, rich man? Was there any left for you? Confess, was it to multiply sympathy by 2, add on subscribers count, or inflate on views that you liked? Would you admit you exaggerated a little even? Would you admit that you diminished a little even? It started with Pepsi can, with your testimony. Wrecked cars. Confess, was it to multiply sympathy by 2? I cannot believe that I just recording another hour video. Confess, was it to multiply sympathy by 2, add on subscribers count, or inflate on views that you like? Would you admit you exaggerated a little even? Didn't you admit also to read the part of my declaration when I asked you did no jail time and instead receive mental health care? Was that to avoid saying any good of me? Okay, the last part I don't understand, because mental health care is part of jail time. all considering that in our time, when people are convicted to jail, they now can't even spend the time jail at home. Daniel, you know our friend Daniel that I've been speaking about, that he had a testimony over the YouTube. He said that after meeting with us, there was something happening regarding his view over Jesus, and he even declared me to be Elijah in the video. Well, guess what? Spending time, jail time at home, was considering by the same government to be counting as jail time. Didn't you omit also to read the part, and you can look it up, because you do look it up, so look it up. You know this is true. Didn't you omit also to read the part of my declaration when I asked you did no jail time and instead received mental health care? Was that to avoid saying any good of me? Well, Jesus knows how much good I want to say about you. But this is a stoning. It wouldn't work to stone and to say good. The stoning is ending when you will repent. Now, why I would not repent myself? Because I do wrong too.
Hello, I'm Darren again. Today's questions are asking if I would discuss stalking. What kind of people stalk others? Why do they do it? What would the personality type of a stalker be? To answer those questions, I'm going to look at some of the recent...
Okay, this is really a trail with the links. By the way, I did not go through your contract because, you know, the things that are not directly from you, like this, okay, this, okay, this is some random guy talking about the law. I don't care about this, okay? What I care is about this. By the way, I did not go through your contracts to find other potential victims. She found me. Evil spirits, they know where to go and to find who to go against. By the way, I did not go through your contacts, talking about the Facebook, okay, because you were asking me at the time, is there any other people that I'm doing the same to them that I did to you? Now you found out that there were other people that I did with them what I did to you, and it was not about trying to sleep with them and harassing, but it was really about sent to the people. There was a message to each of them. Kimberly Meran, what was the message? Why I was sent to her? It's because she wanted to have a child by her gay friend with intention, prepared in advance to not have the father access to her children, even before the conception of the children. So it was evil, and I had to tell her. And then she didn't like it, so she found you. By the way, I did not go through your contact to find other potential victims. She found me. She had heard my name multiple times spoken about, and after one day stumbling upon your text exchange with Samuel, took a screenshot of it and decided to do the right thing by warning me. Like Robert Kelly? Robert Kelly doing the right thing by warning you? Took a screenshot of it and decided to do the right thing by warning me of your intent to rape me. And much worse, in your own words. That's what prompted me to cancel or schedule meeting with Vincent. He had offered his help baiting you over knowledge of the scriptures because why he wanted to sodomize the Bible? Why? Very clearly, okay, I'm asking the question. You were his friend. You relied on him over his knowledge of the scriptures. I'm asking you, why did it take so long before you were honest about what actually happened with the Bible? And how is it that you would explain that he wanted to give his help at the same time saying that he's Legion demon, which I don't think would have good intention, and then you keep saying that he wanted to help me and beating me over the knowledge of scriptures, but he ended up sodomizing the Bible? And doesn't make any sense. I mean, is there anybody, okay, keeping with catching up with this and having an opinion whatsoever regarding this? Or is just going to be my Gaver saying, I understand your pain. At one time, Jonathan, he was after me for months. That's what prompted me to cancel or schedule meeting with Vincent. He had offered his help beating you over knowledge of the scriptures because, believe it or not, he wanted to become... Are you kidding me? Okay. He wanted to become priest. Well, that might have gone hand in hand with him saying that he sodomized the Bible. He had offered, I mean, you need to hear this, because you say that he wanted to become a priest. And he studied the Bible for years. Yup, that's the truth. This is insane. This is insane. A priest. You mean a priest like the Catholic, abusing children? I care to remember you that you let him get close to your children, and he had a restrictive order that he could not get close to his own children. Now you just digging deeper and deeper, okay, in the shit that you help create to take back the words of Rodney Franklin. This is going deep there, okay? I perceive that this has to do with my new salary raise. What? Now I understand why you kept some to yourself regarding the truth. This is unbelievable. How is it also that at the exact time that I finished the 12th key is the time when I had to go back over the 9th key, because I had to check it out with your agenda, Paris bicycle, yellow, Benoit agenda, not for me, not about me. I had to go back there at the exact time that I finished the 12th key to find out that the 9th key was no good anymore, and so not wanting to do a 13, because 13 is rebellion, then, and it's hard to get past it. I've been doing for 14 years, and after 14, 15 is having to do with that, so it's, it would be the right year for it to end. Then, at the same time I finished the 12th key, it just happened that I had to go back over the 9th key to find out that it was corrupted, and then I had more space replacing it without adding a key. This is so... This is... you want to talk about gold? This is gold. This is gold. This is gold. And unbelievable. And I believe you. Yup, that's the truth. Doesn't surprise me, actually. By the way, I did not go through your contact to find other potential victims. She found me. She had heard my name multiple times spoken about, and after one day stumbling upon your text exchange, I wish that there would be shorts of this video made after, because I don't have the patience to do it, and also the short feature on my YouTube channel seems to not be working anymore. That's why you don't see me post shorts anymore. She had heard my name multiple times spoken about, and after one day stumbling upon your text exchange with Samuel, took a screenshot of it and decided to do the right thing by warning me of your intent to rape me, and much worse than your own words. That's what prompted me to cancel or schedule a meeting with Vincent. He had offered his help, but there was twice canceled the meeting with Vincent. You canceled twice. Now you say that the reason was because of Kimberly Meran letting you know about screenshot text exchange with Samuel, but you canceled twice. That's what prompted me to cancel or schedule meeting with Vincent. He had offered his help beating you over knowledge of the scripture because, believe it or not, he wanted to become priest and study the Bible for years. Yup, that's the truth. And he called himself Legion Demon as a result. You know, there's a verse that says that it's better that you would not have known his words to return into your vomit. So what is going to lead me?
In this video, we're going to discuss stalking behavior and the most effective way for getting a stalker to leave you alone. And make sure you stick around till the end.
Sorry, but it's not you that I see in the video, so I don't care. If it's you that I see in the video, I'm going to look at it. I know I've been, and yes, okay, did you catch it? What's become of me then? I know I've been doing all the contrary to what is recommended. But in the spirit of the saying, keeping quiet only keeps the offender at peace and the law fail me. I defend myself instead of playing victim. I don't care if you disagree with my managing of this situation. And this is a message to all. I know it is not a message directed to me. It's a message directed to the audience. I'm sure that the audience got the best time of their life right now. Everything is getting proven. So unlisted video over unlisted video, but it's not like you sent it privately to me this time. I still kept a part of the promise, didn't I? Don't take yourself so seriously, you're just a monkey with a plan. And there's the plan of God, and there is the plan. So, what if God was a woman? She did it. Elle a son on Canadian laws. That's the crazy thing about it. As you put out the video, you already figured out what I would do.
A verdict is reached.
And you still did it. You said you risked 20 years for criminal harassment. Lawyer, maximum sentence is 10. I just checked. Or was it 10 for me and 10 for her? Well, you wouldn't want to be put equally responsible because then it would create more jealousy. Even looking like a competition who got me most years. Thank you, Jesus. Because I'm not saying thank you, Jesus, for nothing there. Thank you, Jesus, because you are, Marianne, you are really starting to not keep to yourself anymore. And what is it that's coming out from the truth? Vincent wanted to become a priest. And he got a restrictive order that he cannot get close to his children. And in the Catholic, because you cannot become a priest if not over the Catholic Church, which got all the deprivation of molestation of children. But you esteem yourself that it was reasonable to allow this guy, Vincent, who's saying that he's Demon Legion, to get close to your children. careful with your teeth. Don't go to the dentist again because you crush your teeth over a rat. I don't want to kiss a monkey with no teeth.